Okay, my dear students, a very good morning to all of you. Now we are in the fourth section of bows. We have already gone through the first, second, and third part. In the first section, we saw bows. The essay was written by E.V. Lucas, and he says that he need a kind of superiority, assurance, and self-confidence to write about bows is because we all are bows. Why or how we become bows? We become bows because we have got our own ideas, our own interests, and we try to impose it on others. And then it was said that the selfless people, they will not be bows. Usually it is like that. But at times, they too become bows just because they have got new experiences. Then we saw egotism is the foundation stone of bows is because everyone is fond of self-praising. Then in the next paragraph we saw the various topics with which the bows go on boring others. The most important thing is about oneself. We have very many things to say about us. And then we will be talking about our family, our brothers, sisters, or parents, or house, garden, or the restaurant in which we get into, or the shiblos that we follow or which we do not follow, or how we talk with the waiters. And these are the various topics with which a bow bows others. And they think that they are the axle trees of the world because they think they are the center of the world and all comes around them. And then the next part we saw why the bows are happy. They are happy just because they have got various topics to talk with and they have very many audience. Then we saw that in the next section that it was said that why the bows have got enough audience. It is because the ineradicable kindness of human nature. The humans are born and brought up with this special quality, kindness. And so we cannot say a no to others. When someone starts talking, we just sit and listen to them. And thus the boss get enough audience. Then we saw that how one of his friend, how we can get away from a bow. We can get away from a bow. That is, when we see the bow, we have to just run away. Otherwise, we have to just sit and listen. If we are running away, if we are not meeting with the person, we can escape from that bow. Then Lucas was telling about his friend that he has got he used to go to the club and there every now and then he was attacked by a bow, and in order to escape from him, he arranged a page boy that he has to come and tell him that he is wanted on the telephone, and thus he thought of escaping from this bow. Then we saw the greatest asset of the bow, that is the simplicity that disarms. That is the simple way of living, how the honesty and sincerity with which he attracts people. Then who are seldom or who are never boast. That is crafty people and busy people. They have got very many other issues to deal with, and so they are not ready to talk with people and make them bow. Then we saw the different types of bows. Mainly 4 types of bow. The most important of them is buttonholing bow. Like buttons, they are so attached. They come close to us. They will be keeping their hands on us and or keeping our holding our hands. They are so close to us. And as they are very close to us, what happens? They will be just spreading bird lime on us. That is, their saliva will be falling on us. And then they will be telling so many things that they think that it is funny. And it may not be funny at all. And the most humiliating thing is that we have to laugh when he laughs. Then the second type is that there are also a group of people who says funny stories, and he must have said these stories again and again very many times. And even if he say that we have listened to these stories, you have told us these stories very many times, they will never stop their funny way of saying. That means we have to just sit and listen to them. And then the third type we saw that they say without the sense of humor we cannot live in this world. And they even say that their sense of humor saved them from difficult situations. And the fourth type is live and let live. That is, means we have to live in this society, all are boss, and all the boss have to live in this world. And so we have to, as we are interested in telling things, we should be ready to listen to others. That is sharing each other, listening to each other. We have to listen to others and others have to listen to us. And then we come to the last part of the bows. There it is the Eurylochus says about a friend of him, an eccentric peer. Eccentric means something like mad. Not so, but still he is, we say, half mad. And his specialty is that he has got thinking aloud. His habit is thinking aloud. What he thinks will be said. And we know in this world, our thinking may not go with our actions. Both thinking and actions are entirely different. We may think about something and the action may not be the same. And in such a way, here we have got a person. He met one of his friends in St. James Street. And then seeing that friend, he was thinking, he is such a nuisance one. Why I have met him? Why he is here? I'm really fed up with him. Like that he thinks. Then after some time he thinks, see, he is such a man. But now, as I met him now, let me invite him for dinner. And see, he comes down and he asks him, are you ready to dine with him? See, that much difference. Thinking about him very badly, but see how nicely he invites him for dinner. Then hear about the armor plate of bows. The armor plate means the protecting cover. What is the protecting cover? That is total evasion. Going away from that person. Escaping from the bow. That is the only thing a person can do. That is the only way to escape from a bomb. Then in the last paragraph about a Human magazine, it is said, we have already seen that E.V. Lucas, he was associated with the Human magazine Punch. And about this Punch, it is said, see, if everyone stops their way of talking, that is human way of talking, then there will not be anything in this magazine. That is, if the magazine stops, nobody will be getting more topics to talk. And see, nobody will be able to say that it is good for Punch. But this will never happen. That means the magazine Punch will never stop its publication. And so, very many humorous topics will be coming out and the people will be there to go on talking. So that is what we see in this last section. Now let us go through the lines. There was once an eccentric peer, I forget both his name and the place where I read about him, who had contracted, all unconsciously, the habit of thinking loud. And in this world of artifice, where society is cemented and sustained very largely by a compromise between what we think and what we say, his thoughts were very often at a variance with his words. And here in this lengthy sentence it is said, there was once an eccentric peer. He has got a friend who is not, we cannot say that fully mad or fully normal. Some kind of some abnormalities are there for him. And what is the most important thing? He says that he has got the habit of thinking loud. And here Lucas says, I don't remember his name or his place, but I remember the incident or his way of behavior. So that is what he says. I forget both his name and the place where I read about him, but I know this his doing is still in him. He could recall all his doings. And he says, who had contracted all unconsciously. He is not conscious enough. Unconscious he is. It is said that in the beginning that he is an eccentric peer. And so, not so normal. And here he forgets things. And that is why it is said, who had contracted all unconsciously, the habit of thinking loud. And in this world of artifice, artifice means tricks, were societies cemented and sustained very largely by a compromise between what we think and what we say. See, we have to have a compromise between what we think and what we say. Thinking and saying, we should go hand in hand. His thoughts were very often at a variance with his word. But see, for him, it is entirely different. His thinking is the opposite of what he is doing. Thinking and doing, it will not go hand in hand. It is really the opposite. That is what we see in the next section. One of the stories in the memoirs in which I found him describes how he met an acquaintance in St. James Street, and after muttering quite audibly to himself for a few minutes as they walked side by side, confound it, what a nuisance meeting this fellow. I have always disliked him. And about him, Lucas says that he met one of his acquaintances in St. James Street. And see, as he met, he was not pleased with that man. And so, loud enough, that means he could hear, the other person could hear what he says. And what did he say? confound it. Confound it means in a way, damn it. That is what it says, in a cursing way. What a nuisance meeting this fellow. See, why did I meet this person? I don't like him. And why? Now I have got a chance to meet him. I have always disliked him. See, these things he is telling in a way that could be heard by the other person. So that means what he says, the other person is listening or he is audible enough. And then what happened later, see? But now that we have met, I suppose I must ask him to dinner. See, I don't like this person. I really disliked him. It's a real curse for me meeting this person. All these things he is thinking, but his thinking is in an audible way, that the words that comes out, his thinking comes out in words that could be heard by the other person. But still, in the next moment, he feels sorry for what he said. And he says, since we met together, I should invite him for dinner. But now that we have met, I suppose I must ask him to dinner. Just we have met, and so it's my duty or pleasure, or in a way it is right to invite him for the dinner. And what did he do? He stopped and said with every appearance of cordiality. See, he stopped and said with every appearance of cordiality, that is in the most pleasing way. He wanted him to come for dinner, not just ask, oh, I just met him and so let me ask him. No, in the most pleasing manner, he invited him for dinner. See, you will dine with us this evening, won't you? See, you will dine with us this evening. See, today, this evening, are you not coming with us to have dinner? And see the tag that is put along with the statement, won't you? There, no excuse, only say yes or no. See, that means he expects a positive answer. Won't you? Won't you come with me and dine with me? So he expects a positive answer. Well, so that section is over. That is, he is inviting, whether he went or not, whether he accepted his invitation or not, that is out of our lesson. We believe that he went. Now the next section is, well, as a sheet of armor plate against bows, I don't think we could do much better than cultivate the habit of thinking truthfully aloud. Thinking truthfully aloud. What we think, that in our action, that should be seen. Thinking and action, acting, that go together. That should go together. And here, the best armor plate, it is said, unless we can do this or train ourselves to be downright offensive, there is no remedy against bows except total evasion. Now see, if we think that we may irritate others, or we may just will be an offensive for others, it's better we should have the armor plate, that is total evasion, total keeping that person totally from us. We should never have a communication with them. We should never meet such a person. A total evasion, keeping them aloof, keeping them separate. That is the only armor plate a board can have. If from a board a person can. No board ever says, after no matter how many hints, I will avoid that man in future. I know I bore him. In the second part, we learned that nobody is dare enough to say to a bore, you really irritating us, go away from us. Nobody will be ever dare to say. And here it is again said, see, even if we say to such a bore, such a thing, see, you are boring us, you just keep away, they will never stop their coming to you and talking with you. Very many times we might have told him, we will never say that is what we saw in the last section. But even if we say, the bore will never be disliked, or he may not keep themselves away from us. It's our duty to keep ourselves away from them. That is the only thing we can do. Is it clear? Now the last section, that is, so they will always flourish. Who is that they? It is the boss. They will always flourish. They will always get topics. They will always get audience. But if a certain famous weekly humorous paper were to cease publication, and in bracket it is given distasteful and incredible thought. Distasteful, that is, everyone expects or they are anxiously waiting for this humor magazine during those times. This humor magazine, that is Punch, everyone is so fond of it, and so its publication can never be put to an end. That is why it is said, but if a certain famous weekly humorous paper were to cease publication, cease means stop its publication, there would automatically be a decrease in both topics. See, every time this magazine is coming out and there are very many topics for the boss to talk with, and they go through it and they get the boring topics, they will be ready to share with others. And see, if the magazine stops, then these people may not get enough topic, and so they also stop boring others. But it is not possible at all, because then no one could any longer repeat those sayings of his children which are good enough for Punch. Now see, when others listen to these boring topics, they will say good enough for Punch, that let it be in Punch. It's not needed to tell us, or we are not interested to it. It's only good for Punch. But see, this will never happen. That is, publication will not be ceased. The people will just go on read, and they will be telling these boring subjects to others and make everyone boring. So it will just go on and on. There is no end for it. So I hope it's clear to you. We have 2-3 questions more to discuss, and then we will wind up. Now see, in the first section, what is the best armor plate against the boss? That is total evasion or avoiding them. Then second section, second question, why is Lucas Pierre described as eccentric? That is, he has got a special habit, that is thinking aloud, and his actions and words are at a variance. It will never goes together. Then the last question, what will happen if the weekly humorous paper ceases publication? Humorous paper, that is Punch, and if it stops, what happens? There will be decrease in the both topics, and people will stop saying that it is good for Punch. Then there are 3 paragraph questions. The first one, how do boss thrive on the weakness and benignancy of human nature? We have already said that the boss are unconscious of their boorishness, and they have got their own ideas and interests. They just go on imposing on others. And it is not the length or the matter of the topic that make others boring. We have to be aware of the context. We have to aware of the subject matter. Then we have to be aware of the interest of the listener. If you are aware about this, we will never make others boring. Then we saw that egotism is the foundation stone of all bores, because everyone would like to praise themselves. Then bores are happy is because they have got enough topics to talk with, and they have got enough audience. They have got enough audience. It is because of the kindness of the human nature, and they make us cowards because we never dare to say no to anyone. Then the second one, why does Lucas describe bores as happy men and wolves axle trees? So here again it comes that it is egotism, and you can also say about the foundation stone of every bore is egotism, and then you can write about the various topics with which a bore go on discussing, and then we can also see why these people depend or listen to them. It's because we are born with that special talent, that is kindness. That quality we have got, and so these people have got enough audience. Then if you go through the notes, it is given there. Then the third one, the style of E.V. Lucas, that is also given in the Lucas. That is the way he says. It is easy going. That is very simple way he has written down. Though it is simple, it has got a deep meaning. And in a conversational style he has written down. Then it is said that repetition for emphasis, that is he himself, about himself, that is how we all people are interested in talking about ourselves. Then also metaphors are used, that is the boasting that they are the axle trees of the world. Then we can also see it is so much humor is there in his essay. He is telling about very many things, but see, we can see he didn't wanted to give pain to others. Though it is funny, but at the same time he hasn't got malice towards anyone. That is his style of writing. Then next question is types of bores as discussed in Lucas' essay Bores. We have seen the 4 types of people. The first one is buttonholing bore. About the buttonholing bore I told you very many times. And the second one, that is a person who goes on with his funny stories, and even if we say we have listened to it very many times, they will never stop talking. And the third one, that is they say that without the sense of humor we cannot live in this world. And they even say that their sense of humor saved them from difficult situation. And the fourth type, that is live and let live. That is, as we all are bores, we have to consider each other. And in the fourth group we know father of E.V. Lucas also, one of them. And then the essay, as I told you, you have to write an introduction, and then the various, all these topics, all these points can be discussed in different paragraphs and give a concluding paragraph. Thus you can complete your essay. Now I think we have completed our lesson. Go through it, learn it, so that it will be easy for you. Now I think you have already put into different batches ABC, and I think next week onwards we will be able to meet you together. If when I have got a class, I will ask you to join in the Google Meet so that we will have online classes. Those who want, if you have got any doubt, you can contact me personally. So go through all these videos, learn it, and if you have got doubt, contact me. Okay, I think it's enough for today. Okay then, thank you.